All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing, my friend?
Morning, Carlos. I'm good. I was getting worried about you there for a second.
No, yeah, we had some system issues last minute here. My camera wasn't working. The stream was weird, but we were able to figure that out there. So
All
glad
right.
that is working out. Over on YouTube, good morning. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. Let's take a look here. Let's get our chat up and running as well. See what our YouTube friends are up to. Um, Seems like a quiet day so far, Peter, for the market. I don't see anything I like as
Yeah,
much as uh,
yeah. We've had a
gold.
lot of earnings. Earnings shifted now into more of the manufacturing, heavy equipment space. So that doesn't typically; those aren't the type of stocks we typically trade. So we do have some earnings that happened last night, and a few more, a couple this morning. But yeah, as you say, like nothing that's really probably going to be hugely tradable or exciting. Couple that I'll mention in a few minutes. Market news, like we'll cover again in a minute. Not much happening. It's a Friday, right? So typically we
Yeah,
don't get a
yeah,
lot of this stuff happening on Fridays. So we're sailing. We're easing down into the weekend. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah. Long weekend on top of that, guys. Long weekend. We are off on Monday. Marcus is closed, so looking
Oh, you know
forward to
what? I
that.
didn't even I didn't even remember that.
Oh
Really,
yeah,
long weekend? Oh
oh
wow.
yeah. I look forward to those, man. Those are good. Those are good. So
Oh man, I had
so
no idea.
yes.
What am I going to do on Monday?
Even for Canada, right? Because you have what family day? No, what is it? What is it on Monday for you guys?
Oh, Family Day. Yes.
Is this
But you
family
know
day?
what?
Okay.
That's sort of it's a federal holiday that I don't know. I never got it as a corporate guy, so it was only a
Oh, okay.
federal thing.
Okay. Um,
But okay, look at that. We got a holiday coming up on Monday the 20th, Washington's birthday. All right. Well, fantastic. Good to know.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. We are diving in here and seeing DKG is leading the way here, up 8.5 with some volume, 800,000. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what's happening there. A couple of more on here that we are very familiar with. Dash, Roku. Oh, Roku had earnings last night, I believe, or no, it was the day before actually. All right, we'll see what's happening there. And then on the gap down list, again, a couple of names that are not so great, but let's see if today they can prove us wrong. But for the most part, some of these names don't trade all that well. Looking forward to see what AI is up to. Has been obviously a big talk of the town lately when it comes to companies and marketing and all kinds of stuff, innovation. So we'll see what's leading the way there. A quick look at
Let me
just
just
look.
address
Yeah.
something. There's a quick comment in the YouTube channel that I want to
Hmm.
address, saying that this is a very different list than you're seeing on Trading Terminal. It's the same list. We just put some additional filters on it because, as you can see, Trading Terminal, we want to make sure it's got things that almost everybody would want to look at. So the settings are a little wider. That's done purposely so you can see sort of a broader spectrum of what's moving in the morning. When in this show, we have limited time, so we really just want to make sure we're focusing on a few of the top items. So all of the things you see on our gappers should definitely be on the Trading Terminal gappers. We've just filtered it a little bit more so that we can focus on the things that, frankly, match sort of the trading style that we're talking about here, because all different trading styles sort of need different targets and different type of stocks to look at. So
Yeah.
hopefully that
Yeah.
that makes sense to you.
Absolutely. And something else to look out for is that in trading terminal, you'll see the time. Pay attention to this. See this 1741. That's from
Mm-hmm.
last night, right? So don't pay attention to those. You want to look at the stuff that's 8:36 in the morning. So some of those will kind of make their way in here. And again, you just don't want to be looking at those, right? Look at the stuff 8:36. I don't know if there's a way to filter this. We'll have to get with our guy. There should be a way to filter that so you don't see that there. But for the most part, like here 19, right? That's not in play really on the gap today, 17. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, guys, we're always making changes to this, right? We're always upgrading it and making it better. So let me see if I click on this. Oh, now we can change colors. See, we some things we didn't have before, which is kind of that's pretty nice. Gap Bob, I'm gonna put this green, and I would like to put the gap down red. Is that possible? Oh, there we go. Okay. Cool. He's easy peasy there. So yeah, play around with it. We will make sure to. I'm sure our techs know that, but yeah, it would be nice to see that 17, 19 gone.
Well,
Um,
And those are actually, there were some comments that they're there on purpose because sometimes people want to know if there was post market action yesterday, so, because
Yeah,
that may be something they want to take a look at. Right, doesn't mean it's active so far this morning, but sometimes you
nice.
get like just a big spike of activity, so that sits there. Not exactly what we're looking at here this morning, but again, based on your trading style, especially if you're a
Yeah.
swing trader, that could be important for you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes, and just a click on here to sort this will be easier to read. But yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Looking at our stuff from yesterday, we had a bunch of things on here. Roku was leading the way yesterday. They had earnings today. They're on our gap up list again. So we'll see what kind of movement they're showing this morning. But if we look at yesterday's action, 5 minute here, you can see how well Roku traded. Let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So again, it was impressive. I did not expect them to trade this well. But just look at the ride they had. They had a nice drop in the pre-market. They recovered before that. And then at the bell, they went right to the levels that we had, guys. 71.97, 74.97. And then they hit their high here. I didn't have anything above this, I believe. But look how well they traded yesterday. Very, very clean. And some great indications. Look at the cross of the moving averages at 9 to 20. It did test the 9 a couple of times, which again doesn't signify a reversal right away, just showing support. But when you have this crossing of the 9 to 20, you can see that change in direction right back to VO. That's a great, great strategy if you're looking out for that. Here is Cisco CSCO. This one doesn't trade very well for the most part, but I had it on my list yesterday because it looked good. So you can see here they had a nice gap up and drop there. The price action is still a little bit spotty, still not the best. I prefer to watch other things, but yesterday not overall bad on the way it moved. Shopify, on the other hand, it gave you probably one opportunity, well, a couple opportunities actually, one or two before 11. Then after that went pretty much flat. Tesla yesterday was a tough one at the open. Didn't want to get going here. The pullbacks were very aggressive. Eventually ended up working out, but it did give you a tough time for a breakout here on Tesla. But eventually, it became a great trader towards the downside, especially towards later parts of the day, guys. Look at this sell-off. We're going from 217.81 all the way down to 200. So again, Tesla continues to be one of those favorites. So, and then we have Amazon, we have Meta, we had a couple other ones out here that just didn't do all that good compared to some other things.
Yeah, I surprised myself by trading Shop yesterday morning. It actually had some good price action sort of into the open. Normally,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
something that I would avoid, but it was looking good for me right at the open, and I sort of got the advantage of this drop on our rising devil type trade, which we describe in our YouTube channel for everybody.
yeah,
Um,
yep,
but yesterday, a big part of the tale was yesterday afternoon on some of our offerings. We had this big drop in the afternoon, and I was surprised that we had a Fed president that spoke, and his speech caused, I guess, some concern. I mean, frankly, it's always interesting to me. There was nothing new said, really, but just that reiteration of the intent to be aggressive on increasing interest rates to fight inflation. Reiterated that he was pressing for a 0.5%, 0.5% increase. Look at how the markets reacted. We saw this big like sort of blip, and then we dropped into the close. So that was sort of what was happening yesterday afternoon, and seems like reaction to that speech. I was doing the same thing, like, what the heck's going on? And our members were
yeah.
like, there's a speech. So I'm like, okay, normally those don't have an impact, but you never know, right? So
Yeah, yeah. This market is so much different than what we're used to, even just 4 years ago. Very, very different. It seems so sensitive to everything,
44
like
years ago, we were worried about tweets changing the market. So
yeah, yeah. Um, I was reading something about weekly options. That has a lot to do with the volatility that we're seeing now. Weekly options has really changed how much volatility we have in the stock market. There was a whole documentary on this thing, and it's a problem for like anyone that's trying to do swing trading now, because you can go from one extreme to the other and pivot so quickly, and it's all due to these weekly options. So people are saying that they feel like there might be some regulation placed on the weekly options because it is causing a little bit of problems for like
yeah.
some fund managers to try to get in a position, and then they'll get wiped out and they'll come right back to where they were. So it was interesting to see that. But yeah,
Well,
that's been a
as Jared talks about all the time, you got to pay attention to the options, even if you're just
Yeah.
trading stocks. And it's why we have the options room going, which is on today, by the way. Options room is open Monday, Wednesday,
Yes.
Friday. If you're a member, you can take advantage of that. So, listen to Jared and Megan. They know what they're talking about. So, it's important to be in there.
Yep.
Um, Carlos, just it looks like, oh, there you go. You got it fixed. I was double dipping there. It seemed like
You
there
was
was two
double
of me.
dipping.
Not that,
Yeah, I saw that.
more of me is always good, of course, but just
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, excellent. Let's take a look at what we have, guys. Let's dive in here. I'm going to remove the stuff from yesterday. Control A, Control X. We'll get rid of that, and then let's look at our gappers list, starting with DK and G this morning. They're gapping up 8%. Decent volume, 800, almost at 900,000 here. They're a bit of a tricky stock to trade. They can be very choppy at times. They have been obviously rallying with many tickers from January into the last couple of days. We'll see what happens. Any news on it? Oh, it looks like earnings
yeah.
last night.
They were in earnings from last night, so they beat their numbers and raised their guidance. So some positive outlook on DK and G, which is why we're seeing the volume and that 9% increase this morning.
Yeah, yeah. So looking good there, guys, on that. ZIM also this morning gapping up. I'm not a fan of this one. I think it trades very poorly, so I won't have it on my list. Not sure if there's anything causing the gap up, but they tend to gap up and down quite a bit and don't do all that well. So I'm gonna skip on that
These
one.
are one of the
Yeah.
shipping companies. As soon as you say shipping to me, I'm like, oh no, no. You remember Top Ships and
Oh
all those
man,
like,
yeah, yeah.
right? Like
What was Top
shipping
Shifts?
companies.
It's Tops with this one, right? I remember
Yeah,
this. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I just, as soon as you say shipping, I'm like, nope, I'm out. So
I
they've had a lot of upgrades, downgrades. It's funny, they've actually been upgraded and downgraded today by different agencies. So, it's just the normal craziness that seems to happen in this industry sector for
yeah,
whatever reason.
yeah. It is insane. So not a fan of ZIM there. Let's look at Dash. Dash this morning gapping up here 4%, 410. We see this stock once in a while. Their volume for the most part very very light. So not a big fan of how they trade for the
Yeah,
most
they're
part.
harder to trade. They also had earnings, a little mixed results. They beat on revenue, missed on their earnings per share. So, that's why you're seeing a less excited response to Dash this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I again, it is in play today, guys, compared to how they trade. I just do not really like how they move at times. We'll put it as a possible. We can always come back to that one. SI is another one that's actually this one's being talked about quite a bit. And if we go to Trading Terminal here, guys, and you check out our insider again, name could be tricky. It's not insider trading, but if you look at our insider, SI is being quite mentioned here in our retail flow from Wall Street Bets. So you can see right on there, the bigger the letters are, the more is being talked about. So SI is on there. Roku, obviously. I want to look
Might
at
be dating
PLTR.
myself.
Yeah.
Every time you say SI, I'm like, sport. No, it's not Sports Illustrated.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah, Sports Illustrated. Oh, so some good times. Good times for sports.
good, good
Not the
time.
same, man. Not the same. Um, it's become so soft. I mean, especially I'm a basketball fan. I don't know if you know, but basketball has become it's entertainment now. It's just all entertainment. Um,
Yeah.
Roblox is on here, so we got a couple of ones we can look at in a second. That are also on our gap up list as SI is. And Roku, so let's take a look at those. So SI though trades horrible. It's more of a meme stock. So unless you're in that
Yeah.
meme trading territory, you want to be careful there. Do you have any news on this or no?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
there's some news with Soros and the positions that he's taking in the industry, but I again, it's not
Yeah.
anything super exciting.
Yeah. It's yeah, I think it's more of a meme stock more than anything. So you just got to be in tune with what's happening there when the volume is coming in. But for the most part, look how erratic this thing is. Flat. You get going, 20 million, almost 40 million shares traded, and then you come back down again. So
Yep.
today's looking like it's showing some activity. Again, just can't stress enough how careful you have to be with this one. 27 million shares flow, very high short interest as well. So be mindful of those two things there. Um, so let's take a look here. And Carvana's another one that's, man, look at Carvana's trying to get going again. This shoot up to 20 a couple of days ago. This morning's trying to hold this 1050 looks like. Again, not a whole lot of volume right now, but it is trying. So if you're interested in that one, that is also one you can look at. I for the most part, will stay away from that. Here is Roku. Roku this morning up 2.8 after gapping up yesterday quite a bit. So the last couple of days is doing really good, actually, really good here the last couple of days. So I think I'll add Roku again, and it traded well yesterday too. If you guys were watching, this one was very clean. So yeah, let's add this one to the list there. Um, I don't think there's any new stuff on this one. It's just earnings from the 15 after hours that's continuing here.
No, it's surprisingly held up over the last few days after it had earnings. So
Yeah.
I guess it's been active. A little bit of memeing, I think, going on because we're seeing a lot of retail activity in it. But hey, as long as it keeps moving in a way that you can trade, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see what's gapping down. XP down 13%. This is a class A, so I'm not sure what company this is, but it's a class A, so I'm sure there's a different, another share class maybe out there for XP. Again, I'm not sure what company this is, but for the most part, their daily does not look all that great, very light on volume. And I'm not seeing anything besides this big gap down, which is always exciting. And you're losing this level here as we speak. That's exciting as well. I don't know what the news is and what's happening overall with this.
I mean, they did have earnings. I think it was yesterday that they had earnings, which were relatively fairly lackluster. They did get a slight downgrade from Credit Suisse overnight, but that's really it. Again, like you said, not a great trading stock for what we look for.
Absolutely. Indigenous Pathway says Roku was incredible yesterday. It sure was. It traded very, very well. Very, very clean. So hopefully today, I don't think we're going to get that type of move as we did yesterday, but hopefully today we can see something on it. INMD, this is just a brutal ticker. We've seen it plenty of times on here. It doesn't trade very well. I mean, it's just so bad. So um, no, thank you. Let's go over to AEM. Another one, yeah, this has been on our list before. Also gaps up quite a bit and down. And today they had earnings last night, looks like here, but for the most part, still not looking all that good. So yeah, not a fan of that one.
Yeah,
Let's look
mining
at
company
yeah,
just missed their numbers. They were pretty close, but they were off by I think 1 penny on the earnings per share. Revenue slightly lower. Again,
yeah,
once again, mining. You say mining, I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't really know.
yeah. Not many of those trade well at all. GNS again, just look at this daily. Doesn't look good. Down 4%, 177,000. Also sitting at the American Stock Exchange. I don't like tickers that sit there unless they're like some kind of ETF. For the most part, I'm not liking that at all. And here's AI. AI has been doing a lot since January, mid-January. You can see here the move it has had all the way to 31, back down to 20, and now at 23. So it's been getting some really good volume here. I haven't really traded or really watched the price action closely on this thing. Today it doesn't look like it has great volume. It looks like a lot of the fun was had in the beginning of the month, end of last month, and now it's just kind of flattening down a little bit. So you're still getting some wide ranges here on the daily. I'm not sure if that is going to continue with the decrease in volume. We need more AI stuff to start pumping this thing here. So we'll put as a possible. It when I looked at it after the fact, right, not the actual price action, it does trade. The charts look good. Like it looked like it traded well if you're watching it, but I have not really seen the actual price action on AI. I think we're all set. I think that covers our gap up and gap down list there. Peter, is there anything you like that we haven't covered yet?
Couple more earnings that I'll mention, like I do with this season. Applied Materials had earnings last night. They actually had very good numbers. So again, rounding out the semiconductor industry that sort of beat their numbers overall. Applied Materials also raised their guidance. If you look, they're the only semiconductor that's in the green so far this morning. But they don't typically trade a lot of volume pre-market, so that's AMAT. I was hoping that they would give a lift to the rest of the semiconductor sector, but they don't seem to be following so far. So we'll see about that one. But again, not one I normally trade, but you can certainly watch it. Dropbox is another one that I'll mention. They
Mm.
beat their numbers again. No volume pre-market, but it's another one of the earnings. And last but not least, Deer. It seems almost all the earnings I'm watching start with a D, but DE. Um, Deer, yeah, you can see there. Deer announced this morning they beat their numbers and raised their guidance. They didn't actually provide any specific guidance other than they're expecting a very strong couple of quarters coming forward. So, again, Deer, I sometimes put it on the list. I don't know that I've ever actually traded it because the volume typically is pretty low. But if you're interested in earnings, those are the ones that I think are of value.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, some of those are tough, especially DBX. I remember this was my first IPO that I traded, and
Mm.
never again. It was a bad choice. It was so bad. The stock since then, and you know what it is? I I I was excited about this IPO because I used Dropbox quite a bit. It was like the only one that was out there. Now you got Google Drive and all these other things, but before Dropbox was like the one to use.
Yeah.
Not everything has kind of kept up with it. And I was kind of like, oh, should be a good ticker, good company to trade. Horrible. It still is to this day. It's a horrible ticker to trade. But yeah, AMAT is the same way, guys. It doesn't trade very well, at least for the way I trade. All right, let's see what you guys like in the chat. Let's start there. Let's see what you guys are looking at this morning. I am also going to look over at hold on a second. Let's see here. At our YouTube chat. Here we go. So mRNA is down. Let's take a look at mRNA. And if I look at mRNA here, yeah, it's down. Very light volume, by the way, this morning. I do like the drop we're seeing here, but the volume 87,000, it's extremely light. Um, they're not the same ticker they used to be. That's for sure. When a pandemic and everything was going on, only getting about 5 million shares traded. So very, very light, guys. Maybe a possible mRNA. We'll see. Pumps BTC. Bitcoin. Not sure what's going on with Bitcoin. Not pretty quiet right now. Let's look at coin. Yeah, not much going on. Roku was incredible. Yeah, we got Roku. That's good. Hubs. What is this? HUBS. HUBS. No, that's not. Oh, there it is. Oh, no. HubSport. Yeah, this is brutal. So yeah, no. Don't know what's happening here, but I mean they barely get volume, and the $400 stock probably trades atrocious. Yeah, I'm gonna skip on that. JD, let's see here. Uh, JD, no. I mean, if JD's moving, I'd rather look at some other Chinese tickers that might be in play that are going to get more volume. For example, JD's down. I see Baba is down. Neo has been horrible, so we don't even look at those guys anymore. What else? Other Chinese tickers.
JD can be a sleeper sometimes. Like sometimes it
Yeah.
just doesn't do anything pre-market, and then the market opens and it actually moves fairly well. Now you have
Oh,
to keep in
okay.
mind
Yeah.
JD's range is normally smaller than some of the other Chinese stocks. Like if you play a
Mm-hmm.
Baba or a Baidu, they're just going to
Yeah.
move in a bigger range. But JD
Yeah.
can get some nice, smooth, consistent movement sometimes. So, yeah, I actually don't mind it as a ticker. But you're right. When you look at it pre-market, you're going to be like, why would I want to watch this?
Yeah. 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 But Baidu is a little bit more tough to trade. I agree. But yeah, don't see anything great on those right now. Maybe that could change, as Peter said, after the market open. AM. No, more of a penny stock. So we really don't focus on that. Let's take a look at AMD this morning. No, everything's pretty quiet today. I'm telling you,
Yeah, the volumes come out of the
yeah, yeah.
semiconductor sector. AMD and Nvidia, right, the two that we typically watch in the space. Volumes
Mm-hmm.
relatively low this morning, about 300,000 shares on each. Nvidia is still one of the top mentions on Wall Street bets, so it's still getting some of that memeing action that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, but it's not. Yeah, it's not really that active this morning. Tesla tops the list next to, of course, the market overall and the SPY, as you can see, using our Wall Street bets sheet that Carlos is just showing from Trading Terminal. So, yeah, I think I see Tesla being mentioned by a few people in the room. For the last month or so, it's been consistently a decent one to watch.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here, friends. Let's take a look at what else you guys like this morning. Tesla, yeah, Tesla, of course. Tesla's probably the one that will save the day today. I'm hoping. So yeah, we're looking at Tesla. They got 4.1 million shares traded, and again, they traded very well yesterday. It was a little bit of a rough start here, kind of
Yeah.
with the fake outs. Like it looks good now, but I was actually was in this trade here in the price action, which is very very weird, especially on the 1 minute. Eventually, finally broke out, but it was not an easy one to take. But yeah, Tesla will be the one that will get us to where we need to today. It looks like FSLY. Let's take a look at that. FSLY. What do we have here? So this thing's been cranking over the last 4 days. Looks like from 10 to 17. Not really in play today, but I see what you're looking at. I mean, the pre-market hasn't really kind of show what happens after the market open. Right? There's nothing going on here in the market open. You're getting volume and you're pushing higher, especially over the last 4 days. I'm not sure what news has broken out because before that, there was nothing on FSLY, right? It's just very quiet and more volume here on Fastly. And
Well, I mean, they were earnings play yesterday, so this is really
yeah,
just a second day play on Fastly.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't see any new, any new news, on
New
it.
news is good. Yeah, new news is good.
New news.
Uh, but yeah, it's you can tell the pre-market doesn't tell you much about what it's actually going to do. And yesterday, actually, their earnings were on after hours on the 15th here.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
so yesterday made sense. Before that, they did have a little bit of volume, which is interesting, leading up to earnings. But who knows what's going to happen today? There could be an opportunity there if they get the volume. Hard to tell by the pre-market right now. But yeah, definitely it's been moving. And if you want levels on this, Susan, yeah, we could put levels for this for you. We'll remember to do that. Okay, that's what we have, guys. Again, it's not a whole lot that looks great today. We're gonna probably add our usual suspects in here, AMD, Apple, as we move forward. I'll leave it like this for now, and we can always come back and add some more to this. But yeah, right now only three guys: DKNG, Roku, and Tesla is what I really what looks pretty decent today. Let's go ahead and do our community events and announcements. Let me bring this over.
I will say, by the way, maybe just as an aside, as we're getting to that,
Yeah,
don't be shy in calling up what you think is a good stock to watch. We do our best to filter based on our trading criteria and what we're looking for, and that's why we mention a lot more stuff than we usually put on our watch list. But yesterday, for example, there was one I know that I think Carlos we looked at briefly and said, "I don't think so." Toast,
yeah.
TOST.
Toast was
And
toast.
I didn't like the look of it either, but I got to say, Paris in our trade room, he traded it fantastically and gave us a summary when he was on the microphone later in the morning. It was TOST,
Oh,
and
sorry.
it's all right. You're just hungry for breakfast.
No, I'm actually
Um,
looking for something. But yeah.
but he
Yeah.
traded it quite well, and it had some good movement in the morning. You can see it sort of petered out there in the afternoon, but in the morning it had some good price action, and he was able to take full advantage of it. So don't be shy if you find something that you like that you think is going to lend itself well to your trading strategy style. Then by all means, right? This is why we
Yeah.
have all of our moderators in the room put up their list, and sometimes we converge. Sometimes we differ in terms of what we're looking for based on our strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's some traders, for example, Eamon's one of them. Eamon, Megan, Mike at some point, their watch list is usually very different than what we're watching, right? Because they look for very specific things. So look at their watch list when they throw it out there. It's going to be quite different on the stuff that they like. And it's very small too, usually one or two tickers that they're focusing on, right? So
Right.
yeah, so I remember when we first started trading, when I first started being a member of the community, I'll build my watch list, and you guys probably heard this before, and I'll have my list ready to go, and then Andrew will come on, and I'll have this ticker that I really like, and Andrew will say, "This is garbage." I'm like, "This is my favorite ticker. I love this one," and it's just everybody trades a little bit different. So if I say no to something you like, it's just really based on the style I trade. Don't take it personal because it really is not. All right,
Right.
let's go ahead, guys. Let's get into our watch list, our announcements for today.
Well, not a lot of announcements for today because we're at the end of this week. Next week, like was mentioned, I just realized we have a day off on Monday. Carlos, what does that mean for our regular onboarding class on Monday?
Well, I don't want to mess up the schedule for next week and what we have on webinar, so I'm just gonna do it on Monday nights, guys. So it stays the same. Monday night at 8 p.m. Want to keep it nice and
Okay.
simple.
All right. Well, there you go. Carlos will be hosting the Monday onboarding class. So if you want to join, you still can, and you'll still take advantage of that insight and the welcome to the community. Um, we're focused really heavily here now as we move closer to our trading summit. So it happens right at the beginning of March. And we're really looking forward to it. We spent a lot of time sort of curating the material that we're going to put in there to make it an extremely valuable training and trading session. So we're going to live trade. We're going to provide you training material, not only on strategies. Everybody loves to see sort of the new strategies. We're going to go in depth in a number of strategies and approaches you can take, as well as we've got a psychology special guest. Kim Ann Curtin is going to be here, flying all the way in from Hawaii to sort of talk about her philosophy and how she's helped millionaire traders around the world sort of succeed in managing their psychology. So she'll be in the room for you to be able to ask questions and interact with during this session, as well, of course, as all of the moderators from the chat room with all of our perspectives and support. So it's going to be a great event. Go to our website. You can see the full list of activities, what we got going on over the 2 days. There's social aspects too, because a big part of it is just meeting people. I love the comment I got from a trader when we were in Florida last time, where he said, this is my office. This is like me coming into the office for the first
Yeah,
time
yeah.
in a while. So it's sort of good to meet all the people I feel I work with every day, because I normally, I hear you, but I'm sitting alone at home. So I thought that was sort of a good perspective. So we look forward to seeing you there. There's still a couple of tickets left. If you wanted to join us, we said we weren't going to do it, and every time we say we're not going to expand the room, and we did expand the room to be able to add a few more people just because of the demand. So but we are hitting capacity now. Like we just can't grow it any further. So hopefully you can grab one of those last few tickets, and we'll see you in San Diego on March the 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Now, just going through this, and that was a good point about this being our workplace. Because can you imagine doing this alone, like trading alone? That
Yeah,
is,
it's. I mean, I read all the time, and just reading a
yeah,
book right now, or a trader that talks about how lonely it is, and they trade alone and overcoming that. And I think that's one of the advantages we have as part of this community is that and I even talking to the people whom we work with in boot camp on the Peak Capital boot camp last night.
hmm
They're saying it's amazing how useful it can be when you're in a community and you just express some frustration, and you get 50 people that say, "I know exactly what you're talking about," or "I hear you," right?
right,
Because
right,
you feel like you're the only person going through this stuff, because usually people get excited and they post, "Oh man, I'm killing it today," right? Or "I'm having a great day." You don't often get the person that's struggling. And that's why we share both, because we want to make sure you're not alone, because sometimes that just helps. You just need to know, like, it's not you necessarily. So many of us go through this stuff. There you go. Jonathan's posting a nice little group hug. So but yeah, it's
excellent.
the community is, I think, invaluable, right? Whether you actively take tips and information from it, or you just use it as the water cooler, right? Both are very valuable when you're trading.
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. Um, right, excellent, guys. Let's get to it here. I have three on my list: DKNG, I have Roku, and I have Tesla, which are the ones I really like this morning. That's gonna change when the bell rings, but it is a holiday weekend coming up, so people might have started the fun a little bit early, and we will see if we will get lighter volume than usual because this market, the volume that we've been seeing, it's just insane. So fun for us as day traders, by the way. Okay, let's see here. And Jamie says, we never share loss, man. You have not been watching the YouTube channel. You definitely got to look at the YouTube channel. There are some losses in there. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at what we have going on here. DKNG this morning. Let's do some levels here. High of the pre-market, we are looking at 20, 19 and 99. Is our high of our pre-market there. And the low of the pre-market, we're looking at 1860. Is the low of the pre-market for DKNG. I like this one today. We're having a nice gap up, and again, after earnings, I believe. So this is looking pretty nice this morning. 10%, 1.6 million shares traded. That is tons of volume there. Let's go to the left, get some levels in here. And we're looking at July, August, September, October time frame. One towards the top up here at 21,737, and slightly at 2016. And then right where the price action is just laying right over a couple of levels, especially this one here. I prefer the most because when you have a level like this where you slam into it and kind of change direction, that is a good level to have. So I like that there. And then you're close to some opening and closing of the daily here and here, just kind of giving this level a little bit more support there. So that 1975, that is where our price action is right now. And no coincidence that we're flirting with that at the moment, plus this $20 up there also. So that is DKNG looking good there. Let's take a look at Roku and let's see what we got going on here on Roku. Go back to our daily. Great day yesterday, guys. It traded very well. If you missed it, here is what Roku did. You could have played this so many ways. Actually started with the pre-market, went into the market open. Look how nice that run up was. And if you saw the levels that we had on this, actually they traded very well. And then back to the VU, had nice change in direction once the 9 to 20 cross. And then the entire day, this was active, man. This was really nice. Peter, not sure if you took advantage of this one yesterday. I know you trade almost the entire day, or at least are watching the markets for most part of the day. Not sure if this was one that you guys took advantage of in the afternoon time, but
Yeah, I didn't trade it myself, but I saw it moving around.
yeah, yeah. This morning, as far as volume, as far as levels, I'm going to put a level here at 72.65. We will slam one there towards the bottom low of the pre-market. It's this little dash line here, so we'll mark it 69.51. But you have the previous day close on there as well. And I think once you do that, guys, you're pretty much set here. I mean, this is all well done for you. Highs and lows for the last two trading days are a little bit lower because just the movement we've had in the last couple of days. 66.88 might be something you can mark down if we do decide to break down here. But right now, although we are, we had a huge run yesterday, huge range, we are still gapping up this morning. So we will see how that plays out. Here is Tesla, very choppy as far as pre-market action right now. But it's the only one that's really got some high volume at the moment. Low of the pre-market, we're looking at a 198.02, 198 to be exact. We're slamming level there. And then we got this this little bit of a range in here against the previous day close, and what seems to be maybe 19 might actually be 200. No, a little lower, 190, 199.50. So 199.50, I'm going to mark that down. It's not the low of the pre-market, but you can clearly see how many touches you have on this today. Worth noting that there. Um,
Yeah, Tesla worries me around this 200 level just from a trading
mhm.
perspective because, like Carlos is pointing out, it tends to bounce or sort of curl around that level quite a bit. So just be careful about getting chopped around on this if you're going to trade it today.
Yep, absolutely. What is the software we are using to draw on the charts? That is going to be our good old buddy, Epic Pen. Really nice
Yeah.
guy software, guys. So definitely check them out, Epic Pen there. And I'm gonna reach out to them for a promotion on this because we're promoting them. This should cough up a little affiliates there. But no, yeah, and all jokes aside, Epic Pen is really good if you're drawing on the charts. And the great thing about it is you could draw on the charts and then you could take a screenshot of it and then you could share it on Twitter and you could tag me at Carlos M at BBT. You could tag at Peter. Peter, what is your Twitter?
Oh
Oh,
man.
Peter.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
We
the
are
thing
going
that's
to
always
we're
just
going to get
loaded.
Peter more active on Twitter.
I
We
know. I
are going to
don't.
do that.
I don't even know what my Twitter. It's at BBT Peter. There you go.
Yeah,
See, I
so
had to look it up for that.
let's start tagging Peter and just force him to come to Twitter and check things. So yeah, but yeah, guys, Epic Pen, take notes of your screen of your charts, right? Tag us, tag at bearbootraders.com as well. We'd love to see how you're trading, right? So I always like to see how others are trading, especially if you're taking stuff off the trading terminal, if you're trading off our watch list. We'd love to see if we were able to spot a stock for you that you took advantage of. All right, excellent. Guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. I know is some of you have done already 100 likes. Appreciate it very much. We'd love to get above 200, and it does help a ton. You'd be surprised how that little gesture of you hitting that button helps out the channel a ton. So appreciate that. Okay, I think we're all set. I know someone asked me to do levels on Fast. Was it Fastly? I think it was Susan. So let's go ahead and fill that request here. I'm gonna remove some stuff we have from before. I don't see a whole lot on this one, so I have it on my possibles list here. I know the last couple of days they've been doing something. but not really one that is showing in play right now. We will have to wait how the market open is. So if we look at 1554, it's the low of the pre-market. Towards the top, we do have our highs and lows here in previous day close. So I got a nice little pop there. High of the pre-market, again, very tight range. It's just slightly below the previous day close right here at 15 at 91. And then outside of that, I think you're pretty much set. You might have to go to the left here because this is a big gap from here, from 1554 to 14. Maybe go to the left and let's pick out some levels in here. Oh, there we go. Nice area here between this gap up that we have and right to the 1503. So right on there, guys, got a good level there from a high and a low of 2 days before you had that gap down. So once you do that, I think you're pretty much set on it right now. But again, looking really light as far as volume in the pre-market at the moment. So that can obviously change. Right, we got a couple of minutes here. DKNG breakout. Let's take a look. DKNG.
Yeah, I'll just mention again, we've got Jared and Megan. They're active in the options trading room. So not only do we have our stock trading room where we're broadcasting live right now, but we have the options trading room with Megan and Jared Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're in there now. And going strong, and it's all levels, by the way, right? Don't feel that you got to be a pro. If you can't even spell options, go in there and they'll help you out.
Yeah.
So and as Megan says, she's hardly a pro herself. I think she undersells her knowledge, but it's really catered towards people that are from just beginning to doing extremely complex excuse me, oh my goodness, I'm all choked up about it because it's so exciting. Anyways, to very complex options plays. Jared will help you with that. Oh my goodness.
Take a break, Peter. I got it from here. So as you can see, Peter is very excited about this, and you should be as well. No, but all jokes aside, we were talking about. I was talking about earlier. I saw it was an art. Also something on audio. I'm gonna mute Peter here. It was something on audio about how weekly options have really changed the way not just options work, but the overall volume that you're seeing in the market, right? And Jared had mentioned this before. So even though you're not trading options, understanding how that works could be very helpful, even if you're day trading, swing trading, and even long-term investments. Like even your entries can be affected by this now, because you can have an entry where you're stuck within that range where the weekly options are just bouncing things back and forth very aggressively. So you're going to learn a lot from options. It really has become something important, even if you're not trading it, to just understand how it works. So it's great to have those guys have that room there that we can, learn from Megan, Jared, and Artie. Artie knows a lot about options as well. Okay.
Thanks everybody for your support. I appreciate you.
Looks like Peter is safe.
I was trying so hard to push through there that my eyes were watering because I was still trying to talk while it was whatever was going on. So,
Peter was willing to choke to get that message across. Tells you how powerful this is. Guys,
that's my dedication.
Let's take a look at our buddies lineup here, our team. We have our moderators list, which is very light for today, which again, we're going into a holiday weekend, so things might be lighter than usual. It just requires you to be a lot more patient. And yes, we will leave you with a message shortly here.
I'm shocked that it's a holiday weekend. This is all I'm so excited.
It is.
Now. I really had no idea.
Yeah. Let's bring it up over here, guys. Here we go. So our watch list today, we have Thor, Tesla, DKNG, Nvidia, and then we have some other codes over here. I'm not sure what those are. But then we have Peter, no IPOs, no SPAC for today, typical for a Friday. Peter's list, AMD, Tesla, DKNG, Apple, and scanners in the room. And then Brian will be looking at Tesla, Nvidia, DKNG, and XP this morning. So we got a message there. Excellent. We'll see what we can do. Guys, we're all set. Brian is up next. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We appreciate it. Again, hit that thumbs up if you haven't had the opportunity to do so. We'd love to be above 250, 200 if we can. But thank you so much. So anything else, Peter, that we're missing?
No, I think we've covered it. Look, trade safe today. Like Carlos said, it is a Friday. We're sort of moving slowly into it. So, volumes may be down a little bit. Just be cautious. You do not want to regret, especially over a long weekend, sort of the actions you took. So just trade smart. and at least you can have a good weekend coming up. So enjoy that, trade safe, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
I'm catching up on Andrew's comments on YouTube. He said Peter's mostly active on OnlyFans and not Twitter. It's gonna be an amazing Friday, guys. You can tell already. It's not even 9:30, and we already started on the right side of things. Guys, stay safe. Be very careful. Peter's
You
channel is
want to buy the
$55
socks I'm
per
wearing
month.
right now? No, never
I'm gonna block Andrew. We gotta block Andrew. I can't get to the show with him making me laugh like this.
Well,
No,
it begs the question: why does Andrew know I'm on OnlyFans? Because who's my biggest
we are
customer?
going south so fast, guys. I'm gonna shut this thing down before we start getting dislikes. No, guys, all jokes aside, be patient today. The volume is might be a little bit weird than what we've seen the last couple of weeks. So again, just be mindful of that. You want to go into this trading day being very disciplined. Remember, it's a long weekend, so you cannot just come back tomorrow and make up the day. So if you've been doing well this week, take it easy. You don't have to be a hero today. And if you have not been doing so hot, today's not the time you want to hit it out of the park, or at least try to when things are not showing up. So just be patient, guys. Can't say it enough. There's nothing worse than trading bad on a Friday than sitting there for the next 3 days in this case and not being able to kind of make it up. So be very mindful of that. All right, guys, trade safe. Thumbs up. Brian is on. He's connected. I see him there. We're going to transition over to him. So hold on as we do that.
Keep smiling, everybody. Have a good one.
A long weekend. Let's see here. So, quite the sell-off yesterday. It looks like the markets are trying to claw their way back here a little bit as we get closer to the open. DKNG is getting interesting. Good morning. DKNG volume just sort of picked up a little bit. Looking like it's probably going to break out here. Hard not to chase this right now. God, it's really starting to pick up. Volume's coming in on it. What else going on? NVIDIA looks kind of interesting. Tesla had a big drop, had that news on their recall. What else? And then there was the news over the evening about the bizarro conversation that reporter had with GBT. So it was like a space odyssey moment. So clearly there's some still some bugs to work out. Yeah, exactly. I can't do that, Hal. So anyway, yeah. ChatGPT. Microsoft's AI, conversational AI. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, it was just a little bizarre, the direction that conversation took. But again, it's really an emerging technology, and I guess it just illustrates that there's some work that still obviously needs to be done on it. What else we got? Well, we had Donkey Kong came out. DKNG came out last night. Had some good earnings. DoorDash obviously also had earnings. Looked pretty positive. I do think Nvidia is going to kind of looks like it might crawl its way back up here. Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the stock. It's up on the. It's not. It's not on the scanner. There's a few. Well, SI Silvergate. It's up a lot. It heavily shorted. Carvana's up in the pre-market, heavily shorted. Slide does look interesting. Not a lot of volume though. Fastly it's had a huge run on a daily basis. Like the last, even yesterday with the pullback, it was up huge. Is it heavily shorted? Shops did not come out with, well, it's got a huge gap to fill, obviously, but they had good earning. I think they had good earnings and they had good numbers overall. They just, I think the guidance was kind of poor. So. All right. So we'll just wait and see what happens as we get closer to the open. We've got 5 minutes plus. I think Nvidia is going to give a pullback that might be buyable. Yeah, Tesla's probably going to be really erratic, is my guess. It might, Nvidia still is looking actually like it might go higher. It is going higher. Q's just popped. Buying brigades coming in. Here comes the buying brigade. Tesla's moving up. Tesla move up with the market probably. But I still think it's going to be a little bit, Tesla's going to be a little bit choppy. That was a really big drop from yesterday. It's going to need some time to sort of settle out here. Dollar still strong again today. All the yields are up on the different treasuries. So, more prices starting to price in more more increases. Yeah, Amazon just went green. You're right. Roku's green. Oops, there goes. What's going on? Oh, market's just now pulling back. Ooh, NVIDIA just did a big pullback. Let's see here what's going on. Um, Come on. Interesting. Yeah, like NVIDIA was looking strong till about 2 minutes ago. Same with Tesla. Two minutes to the open. Okay, it's going to be, I think it's going to really be a choppy open, people. So just might be, the only thing that really kind of looks interesting to me right now is DKNG. At least initially. And then we'll see what happens. XP. Let's see, what is XP doing? XP looks interesting, possibly for a short at the open. Possible rising devil trade.
Good morning, everybody.
There we go. Here we're getting ready to get launch. 5 seconds. Tesla
Good
looking
morning
weak.
and good afternoon for those of you who are in Europe.
Still watching DKNG. Just
Donkey Kong.
yeah, DKNG. DKNG just got long at 2010.
Nice.
I knew it.
Very beautiful. Nice.
Yeah.
That's one of Brian's favorite stock during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Very beautiful pop. Now it's a little bit extended for me. But
yeah, just selling some at 2031.
what was that crazy pop I had just before the open?
I
Tesla.
don't know.